welcome to Getting To Know ACS with Tracy
and Jasmine.
So today we have Yvette Ramirez with us. She's with the Aftb program, which is Army Family Team Building. So Yvette, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll talk about your program.
Yes, good morning. Thank you guys for having me. This is awesome. Awesome opportunity to promote our program. As you said, Army Family Team Building. We do a lot of our classes here at the FRC. I've been here for just about half a year or so.
Okay.
And it's been interesting, with the pandemic and everything. But we have some exciting things coming up, and we're looking forward to this year.
Okay. And the FRC, in case you didn't know, is the Family Resilience Center.
Correct.
So, AFTB. So basically, AFTB is classes that help the soldiers understand, and family members,
families, right,
understand military life.
Exactly.
Is that a good synopsis?
Yes, that's perfect.
Okay, so can you tell us about, because I know there's like 3 levels.
Right.
What those levels are, and kind of go into detail about what each class is and what you have, because I know you mentioned earlier when we were talking that you had something new that you guys started. So
right. So we originally have 3 concept blocks.
Mm-hmm.
We have military knowledge, we have personal growth, and then the leadership block.
Okay.
So those are meant for the families and family members to learn a little bit more about the military life, what it's all about, also to improve their leadership skills.
Okay.
Right? How to work better with others at work or with their family.
Yeah.
We know a lot of people need that.
That is a really good class. And then we also have something that helps them to deal with crisis and grief and how to deal with all those stressors in our lives.
Okay.
Right? But yes, as you mentioned, we have a new class that is new for this particular year. It's the Power Hour, and it's once a month, and it's only for an hour. It's not usually like our other classes that are a little bit longer, about 2-3 hours. So once a month, and we have a different category for every month, and people can sign up online and just pick and choose whichever one is best suited for them.
Okay. So during the Power Hour, so what's an example of some of the Power Hour classes?
Right. So we have anywhere, again, it's broken down still into 3 different blocks.
Okay.
But let's say, for example, the one that we had this month was military knowledge.
Okay.
And that is just learning how to deal with those stressors in our lives, because we're all going through that.
Right.
Yeah.
And how to kind of take all of that information, deal with it, and come up on the happier side of things rather than on the downside.
Really talking about resilience. Okay.
Right, exactly.
All right. So military knowledge, you said that's to deal with stressors. What kind of things do you actually talk about in the class? So, I mean, what's something that you would cover in military knowledge? What is the stressor?
Right. And this is one of them. This was just, this particular class is dealing with resiliency, and it's called Be the Bouncing Ball, right?
Okay.
So basically that, you deal with a hard situation, how to deal with it and come on the better side.
Okay.
But military knowledge really talks about welcoming the new families to Fort Bliss.
Okay.
Give them all sorts of resources, let them know what's available here at ACS all throughout the whole program. And then, what's available to them locally as well.
Okay.
Because like new families are, looking for all of that information.
Right.
Is that the same class that teaches like the new families how the military works as well?
Yes. Well, that's a different one.
Different one. Okay.
That's the military knowledge class. And that talks about rank. It talks about, ceremonies in the military. Yeah. All of that good stuff, all the basics.
Okay. So let's clarify, because I'm a little confused.
There's 3 categories, and then classes fall under those categories.
Okay, so just for the bouncing back, that's what is taught in the Power Hour.
And the Power Hour. That's the one that we just offered this month.
Okay.
So like I said, we offer a class from each category. And that was the one that was picked for the month of February.
Okay, so during the Power Hour, you're going to learn resilience skills.
Right.
How to be that bouncing ball. Mm-hmm. But if you just sign up for a regular AFTB class, military knowledge, then that's where you're going to learn
Yeah, there's different classes.
Okay, so
there's different.
Okay, so let's break down military knowledge. Let's break down what is taught in that one.
Yeah, okay. Military knowledge. This particular concept block has 4 different classes.
Okay.
So we offer what is a military life, which is the basics, right? And then what's in it for me. Talks about all the benefits, all of those benefits and little extras that we get in the military as a military spouse.
Okay.
As a dependent and stuff like that. And then the Welcome to Fort Bliss one. Okay. Where it talks about all the local resources at ACS, through El Paso, whatnot.
Okay.
And then we have another one that's a real fun one. It's called Got Lemons, Make Lemonade. Right?
Yes. So everybody comes to El Paso with a bunch of lemons.
Exactly.
And they definitely need to make some lemonade.
Right. And it's like that for every military base. You know, you're coming into a new area. You don't know anybody. It's totally new. So this is a good class to, you know, kind of help you slow things down a little bit and get some more information on how to do better things. Okay.
So the main one, I guess none is more important than the other one. But for our family members who are new to the military, taking on that, I guess, what did you call it?
What is a military life?
What is a military life? Because that's what's going to teach them about. Do you teach how to read the LES?
Right. LES. We teach them about rank, right? Because a lot of the military spouses have no clue. Sometimes even what their husband's rank is, right?
And that's true.
So, yeah. So we break it down, you know, to basics and then just teach them a little bit of time. And then hopefully they're able to sign up for all of the whole concept block. So, you know, they learn a little bit different things in each class.
Okay.
So to clarify, though, for the what is the military life, even though I know, can active duty take like E1s, right, coming in who don't know how to read an LES all the time?
Right.
Or what to expect from a military ball because... To be honest, those don't sound very fun. So it's like, what do I do? Like,
so that one also covers the military balls.
A little bit.
Okay.
But we do have this other one that's specifically for that one.
You guys have so many classes.
I know. That's the great thing about it, that whatever you're looking for,
you're never going to get bored. Like, exactly.
Yeah. So this class, it's Formal Functions Made Easy.
Okay.
This class is specifically for all of those ceremonies.
Okay.
Military ball being a big one. So yeah, we have that one offered throughout the year.
Okay.
And, you know, because, you know, there's always a military ball happening. Yeah. So, you know, that way you can register for it beforehand, you know, how to sit, how to eat, what fork to use and stuff like that.
You really get so many forks. You're just like, I feel like I'm in that movie in Titanic. I'm like, I use one fork. Like,
it's like, so what?
From the outside in.
I was going to say you go out in. So it's like the first fork. Okay. So you get a little bit of etiquette in that class too.
Exactly.
That you can take outside of the Army. You know, because you never know when you're going to be at a formal dinner.
Right. Yes, exactly. And that's very true. And that's exactly what that class is for.
Got it.
Good for this military spouses, but especially, you know, the guys, you know, or women also in military.
Right.
Because they don't always get the official training, right?
Right, exactly.
So,
you just kind of get thrown in there and you're just like, what?
I know, it's like, okay.
And wear your uniform, make sure you have all your badges and medals and everything.
Okay. Yeah. You're just like, okay, let me wait and watch and see what everybody else, which fork everybody else is picking up.
Well, not only that, but I know a lot of people got confused when the dancing part would happen too, because it's like, what are the rules?
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
like,
just pretend your mom's there.
Right.
I like that. Pretend your mom.
Yeah.
What if your mom is off the chain too?
Yeah. Then, you know, if you're okay with your mom, then maybe your dad. I don't know.
You know.
But you always want to behave.
But it's more PG.
Right. Yeah. And, you know, you have to remember that your spouse is going to be working, or all of his bosses or her bosses are there. So you don't want to embarrass him or her, you know.
Right. And then also, I think, you know, we mentioned about they still have to work with these people.
Right.
But also for the service member, they probably need to know how, you know, because it's like, don't start drinking too much of that grog.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. And even if you don't, I mean, the amount of different things that go into that grog. is insane. So maybe one little sip is
if you're going to drink any of it, So, but so they not only do the spouses need to know how to behave at those events.
Right.
I think the service member also, because, that liquid courage, they start, hey, I can spin around.
And I always think of Titanic because, the one in the lower deck where they're having like so much fun. I'm like, those are like the lower enlisted. And then
well, yeah, that's
literally what it is.
But it's so much fun, right?
Yeah, exactly. You regret it later.
Yeah. So take your pictures at the beginning of the evening and then to the dancing for after.
Okay. Yeah. So that would be concept block number 1 or the...
Well, this one's a separate special class just for that one.
Okay.
Got it. Okay.
So when you have that class, because I know, is that offered throughout the year or do you try and offer it because there's like ball season?
Right. Yeah.
Is there a ball season?
Well, they're supposed to, but I noticed here that they were very spaced out.
Okay.
So what I did for this year is I spaced the classes out.
Okay.
Because they were only offered, I think, towards the beginning of the year.
Yeah, because it's usually like around the holidays.
Right, yes.
When they have the,
So I went ahead and we added some more classes for this year just because, you never know if you can't catch it for, that first part of the year.
Right.
Then hopefully by the end. And
then you also talk about in that class, I'm thinking, about the proper dress code.
Yes, that's a big one.
Right.
Again, we don't want to embarrass ourselves or embarrass your mother. But yes, there's a proper way. It's supposed to be a formal event. So we want to treat it as such and, have a nice place. You get to dress up and it's fun for everybody to go and have a good time.
I was going to say, and it may be, and I hate to keep saying the junior enlisted or whatever, but they're the younger ones.
Right.
Would they treat this kind of like going to prom?
I mean,
some of those prom
not
dresses
anymore.
are kind of questionable.
Well, but you have to think some of those junior enlisted service members are, really
18,
young.
19 years old. So that's what.
So this is. Some of them may have not gone to prom, so this may have been, their first opportunity to be at a.
Because when you think of prom, that's usually like the first kind of formal.
Right.
Well,
homecoming. Okay.
But I think prom's the more official one, I guess.
Yes. So.
Yeah.
Okay. So they could kind of treat it like that, but sometimes a prom dress isn't even appropriate
because that's more dress to impress, but like at their level,
right?
Crop tops and
yes,
So
you do see some of those at the military balls. We just have to reiterate to everybody, just be tasteful.
That's it. Okay, and everybody's taste is different.
That's also true, but we do try to, let them know.
Right. Okay. That sounds like a fun class.
It is a fun class.
That seems like that would be very fun to just watch. I think I just want to go to a ball just to watch the people.
People watch.
People watch. But anyway, I digress.
But it's especially when we go to in person, that's when it really gets to be a little bit more exciting because we have the display, the table settings and everything. We have examples of, dresses, what to wear, what not to wear. I'm looking for models if you guys are interested.
I was like, Jasmine's nodding yes, and I'm like, no.
As long as I can wear a black
hey, you know what? You can go with the optional one, not to wear or what to wear.
Oh,
so
that's dangerous.
You let me know.
Okay.
Deal.
I've got one volunteer so far, so I need about.
Yeah, let me know. That'd be fun. That'd be fun.
Okay. Yeah. So you have, so you must have a class coming up for this.
We just had one this month. So the next one that we have scheduled is in June.
Okay. So that's so you have a volunteer for that one already?
Yes.
Okay. Right. All right. So you need a couple.
Admin.
Okay.
Very nice. Our first students.
So, okay. So, so we'll talk about the volunteer aspect of this as well in a minute. But okay, so that's the first concept. I mean, that's a separate one.
Right.
And then the first one, concept block 1, that's where you're going to actually get the military lingo, rank, and all that stuff.
All the basics.
Okay,
right.
so then let's go into concept block 2.
Yes. So the personal growth and development class, this deals a lot with how to learn to better communicate with others, getting along with others.
Okay.
And like I mentioned before, we do have a class in this one that deals with crisis and grief.
Okay.
Also an important thing, probably more, we see more in the military, right?
Right.
Than probably other careers. So yeah, we talk a little bit on how to deal with that, and for others, not necessarily the person that's going through that, but how others should really,
how we should interact with them. So
exactly.
Okay. I think that's good because especially when someone is grieving, it's difficult. You don't know the words to say to that person.
Right.
Exactly.
And then you end up, some people end up putting their foot in their mouth, or it's like, ooh, maybe I shouldn't have said that, or came up, because it can be very uncomfortable.
It can.
I just think about when they're passing cards around, condolences around, and you don't know what to write.
Condolences.
Yeah.
That's it.
I'm sorry for your loss. The most, basic one.
Right. Yeah. So, okay.
But yeah, it is difficult, and everybody deals with grief differently.
Right.
And everybody deals with stressors and crisis differently also.
Yeah.
Right.
So learning a little bit about how to understand other people is important also.
Okay. I didn't even know you guys offered that class.
Yeah,
maybe I should take that so I can fill out those cards. So you can fill out
those cards instead of just writing Jasmine.
Yeah. If people come with really hard stuff, I'm just like, I have to go.
Yeah. She tried to run away.
And I just go.
I'm like, sorry. You will sign this card, Jasmine.
I don't understand anything.
Put your initials on it.
Yeah. She's like, okay, here. Okay. Yeah. But that's good. Cause like I said, I know it can be awkward. Right. Especially if someone has been out of work or hasn't been in the office for a while, and then they come back and it's just like, ooh, what do you say? What do you say? So I think that's a good class. I didn't even, like I said, I didn't know you guys had a class like that.
The communication one sounds good too, because you're the military is diverse.
Right.
Of people with different backgrounds, and to me, some people may come off like, why do you do things that way? Mm-hmm. But to them, that's completely normal.
Right.
So that's an interesting one, especially in the military housing, right?
Oh, yes.
So learning how people come from different backgrounds. So to them, things are normal.
Right.
And you kind of look weird because that's not normal to them.
Right. Because it kind of reminds me of, how people say, oh, you have an accent. It's like, no, you do.
Yeah.
I'm perfect.
It's like, because this is how you have an accent to me. So, so to learn that, to figure out that there are differences. And I'm glad you brought that up, Jasmine, about the military housing, because then you are going to have neighbors, from different regions of the country, maybe from out of the country, that may have different beliefs or different things that are normal for them that may not, you might be like, why are y'all doing that?
Right.
So.
Because I know some cultures, they frown upon being what do we call it? Small talk or friendly, and they're like, why are you doing that if you don't know me? And you're just like, you're right.
I don't need to talk to you.
Sorry.
Right now.
But instead of getting offended, that's just how they are, and that's how they communicate.
Exactly.
There. So just kind of learning, okay.
And some people are very, there are some cultures that are very upfront. It's like, I don't joke around. I'm going to be serious and to the point.
Right.
And you're like, why are you so mean?
I am from that culture.
But it's just how they were, taught. That's how they were brought up.
So it's their norm, and we need to be accepting of that. Mm-hmm. So I like that class as well. And so what's the names of those classes that you have? So
that one in particular is Who Are You Talking To?
Okay. Who are you talking to?
So our next one for that one is going to be May.
Okay.
May is your next class. And all of our classes are listed on our main MWR website.
Okay.
So you can go. There's just go to the bliss.armymwr.com.
Okay.
And then search AFTB, and it'll give you a drop down list of all of the classes, when they're scheduled, what times, and everything.
Right.
And you can simply click on it, put in your info, and register for it. That easy.
And if you see our QR code.
Yes, we do have a QR code.
It'll take you right to that page.
Yes.
Okay. And then the final concept block that you guys have is the leadership block.
Right.
Now, is this really geared towards the family member, or is that really geared towards the service member?
Anybody.
Or anybody. Okay.
Can benefit from any of these classes.
Okay.
Because at one point or another, you can use this information, right? If for, right now you're a stay-at-home mom, you're really not working, you're maybe just volunteering or maybe just staying at home with the kiddos,
right?
Which a lot of us had to do last year. But then you never know when you're going to be able to, get back into the workforce.
Exactly.
And you already have those skills. Mm-hmm. So it's good to be prepared and be ready for whenever that opportunity strikes.
I like that. Be ready so you don't have to get ready.
Be ready. Yeah. Exactly. There you go. So these classes are definitely good for anybody to take.
Okay.
Some of the examples on here are what kind of a leader are you?
Okay.
The one that I have coming up this week is knowing your team.
Okay.
So that one breaks down, what kind of position does everybody hold in your team or your, company, your unit, whatever your workforce is. And it just kind of, again, helps you understand everybody and how to better deal and communicate with those members. Okay,
so especially with these classes, the leadership concept block or however you,
concept block.
But especially with that one, can different organizations here on post call you guys up and say, hey, we're having some difficulty in our office. Can you come out and teach like that concept block, knowing your team or what kind of leader are you? Do you guys actually offer that to different organizations?
We do.
Okay, so
and we have had that in the past.
Okay.
Again, not everybody is the same. Not everybody understands or listens or functions the same.
Right.
So it's good to have a little powwow kind of deal,
right?
Going through this training and kind of having somebody to mediate,
exactly,
the whole situation. A lot of people just, add that tension, build it up until something goes bad, right?
Right.
So it's good to use this as an opportunity to kind of let everybody talk about how they're feeling without having that issue that, you're going to feel judged or something by your coworkers.
Right.
Because when we're talking there, that's the point of the whole class, is to kind of talk to everybody and see what issues are happening so you can resolve them and then move forward.
Right. And I think it's a good way for everybody to get different perspectives.
Right.
In a safe
place without having feel attacked.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
do you guys go out to units to do it, or do they have to come to you?
No, it's completely up to them. Yeah. We have gone out to one of the units before.
Okay.
We do have the luxury of having the building there.
Yeah.
So we can, host the classes.
You kind of get to remind the leadership, like, hey, this is not for
place.
Exactly.
Please be mindful. Nobody is going to get in trouble. Okay.
Right. Yeah. Okay. And so what's the other classes that you have in that leadership concept?
So we have communicating through conflict.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. They're all pretty similar on that, which is all just to kind of, if you're dealing with some sort of an issue, talk about it, resolve it, move forward.
Okay.
And then the perfect meeting. This one is more of, I guess, a newer idea because we've all had to switch to virtual.
Okay.
So, how to, little tips and tricks on how to deal with a virtual meeting and stuff like that. How to make sure that everybody's understanding. I know sometimes a lot of people just log in, turn their cameras off, turn their mic off. You are talking to a black screen and it's very difficult,
Yeah.
So we try to, tell them how to be a little bit more polite and have a little bit more better etiquette when it comes to virtual.
Yeah, because it's especially when you're doing a virtual, it's easy to, like you say, turn off the camera, turn off the mic, and guess what? You're just there, and I'm gonna do whatever else I need to do.
Exactly.
Yeah. But technically, that's how we treat everything, right? Yeah. If you think about it, we put on TV and then we go do other things.
Right.
So this is the same. you're just not putting your mind like, hey, this is somebody actually talking to me in real life.
and here's Yvette in the meantime.
I should be paying attention.
Like, here's my TV in the background. It's like, no,
I know the first time I taught a class virtual, because I joke a lot, and I'm like, I don't even know if these people are laughing at my jokes. I'm like, am I funny? I'm like, well,
crickets, right?
Yeah. Raise your hand if it's funny.
And then the lag. So sometimes you have to like slow down, and I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Right. So,
Anybody there?
So speaking of virtual classes, so how are your classes being taught right now?
Right now they are virtual.
Okay, so you are doing virtual.
Right.
Okay.
Probably through mid-month as of right now.
Okay.
Mid-month March.
Okay.
Until we get new guidance as far as what to do, how things are, hopefully getting better.
Right.
We were very excited because originally at the beginning of the year, we were going to start teaching everything in person. But that didn't work out so well.
So once we do go to in person, will you still offer the classes virtually as well? Because I know a lot of people have gotten very comfortable with being able to, take classes virtually, and they're just like, it's so much more convenient.
Right.
So are you still going to offer both options, or is it going to be either or? We
will offer the virtual option as well.
Okay.
Upon request, of course. Mainly for those larger groups. We have a lot of units that have maybe, 200 people that they want to, have them participate in one of our classes. And it's right now, because we have limited space with COVID, we can't have everybody around. That just works easier for them.
Okay.
But we will have that option available.
Okay. So it'll still be there. Okay. And then now to go full circle, now let's go back to your power hour.
Yes.
Since we talked about all the concepts. So then the power hour, like you said, you'll take one class from each of those concepts.
Right.
And then take it down into an hour. So kind of like it's not at lunch though, but
it's not
like a lunch thing.
It's in the morning, right?
Okay.
It's usually 9 to 10. Yeah. So we, Ashley Nunez, and she was really the one that put all of this together.
Okay.
But she was thinking not everybody has 2 to 3 hours to spend on a class, especially if you have children. If they're there bouncing around and whatnot.
Right.
Usually an hour is, a lot to ask. So she shortened the classes, and we just kind of brought it down to an hour.
Okay.
And she just picked and chose different classes from each block to kind of give that information out quickly.
Okay.
Just so that everybody has a chance to, if they're not able to take the main block, they can go ahead and take this one and just get a little snippet of.
Right. And I think this is a good way too with this power hour. Like you said, if I'm not really sure that this is the right class for me, it gives me an opportunity to see what the class is and kind of pique my interest. And if I do like it, then maybe I can make arrangements where I can actually do the whole entire class if I find that it's something that really interests me. So,
exactly. Yeah, and it gives you a little bit of a little bit of a taste to what all the other blocks are for.
Kind of dangle that carrot in front of me. Come take the rest of our classes.
I feel like I'm gonna have to take those leadership ones. The last block.
Yeah, the last block. That sounds really good.
Yeah, they're good, and like I said, they're great for everybody. Worst case scenario, if you're not, like I said, you're not currently working or employed or whatnot. It's still good skills to have, for the future, because you never know.
And I think this, for the different directorates out there, I think if you find yourself where you are having some internal issues, I think those are some great classes to have to kind of bring that to light and have it in a safe space where people are like you said, they're not being judged.
Right.
And it's like, okay, let's talk about what's really going on in our organization and try and see if we can correct it
resolve
and resolve whatever's going on, or at least come to a compromise.
And a lot of the times they don't know really what the issues are. So that's that perfect opportunity for everybody to kind of, talk about everything into detail And hopefully they're able to move
because
forward.
sometimes the people who they had an issue with aren't even there anymore.
Right.
So it's like, let go.
But you can't say that until you know who you're talking to.
Exactly. So,
well, yeah, it's a good.
Okay.
Good
well, thank you so much, Yvette, for coming and joining us today and giving us some more insight into AFTB, into the world of AFTB. Before I end, is there anything that I didn't ask or anything that you'd like to say, that maybe we didn't talk about that you'd like everybody to know?
No, I think we talked about all the classes and got a little bit of the information out. Again, I just want to give everybody the website, the bliss.armymwr.com.
Okay.
Registration there. Or you can always call the number 915-569-5500.
Okay. That's the front desk for the Family Resilience Center.
Yeah.
Okay. So my last question for you is, and we ask everybody this so you don't have to feel like, what is she going to ask me? But one of the things that we like to ask is, what brings you joy being an AFTB educator?
Well, it's when I first came into the military as a brand new spouse, this is how I learned about ACS and about the military was through AFTB classes. So to be able to show those new families, especially the newer ones that are coming in, how all of these benefits are available to them. They're free resources, not only through AFTB, but through ACS. That's, I think, coming into full circle. So that makes me happy, that I can pass on that little bit of information.
Okay. Yes. That is awesome. So, okay. So I have one announcement prior to us ending. We do have, I believe this is going to air in March. But we do have month of the Volunteer Appreciation Month is in April. So if you have any nominations for a volunteer here at Fort Bliss, those need to be submitted to ACS, the volunteer program, by March 11th. Hopefully this airs before March 11th. If not, then just be on the lookout for the things that volunteers that we're going to be doing to appreciate our volunteers during Volunteer Appreciation Month. That was a whole lot. That was a whole lot to say for a very little bit.
Are we doing the military spouse appreciation as well, or is that another time?
That's in May.
That's in May. Yeah.
In my head. Okay.
So
there's a lot going
the other thing that's coming up in April, and you'll see, we'll have a special, we'll have a podcast dedicated to that. But coming up in the month of April is the month of the military child abuse awareness. So we'll be talking about those as well.
Yeah.
So again, Yvette, thank you so much for joining us today. It has been a true pleasure to speak with you.
Thank you.
So with that being said, this is Getting to Know ACS with Tracy
and Jasmine. Don't forget to hit the subscribe and the bell.
Bye.